Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this channel is all about understanding JavaScript and software concepts in a simple, practical, and human way. No shortcuts, no confusing jargon, and no rushing. If JavaScript has ever felt unpredictable or confusing to you, you're in the right place. Now, let me start with a question that probably confused you many times. Why does JavaScript allow you to call a function before it is even written in the code? But when you try the same thing with a variable, it throws an error or gives you undefined. Same language, same file, same JavaScript. So what exactly is happening behind the scenes when JavaScript code runs? In this video, we are going to slow everything down and clearly understand what happens step by step when JavaScript runs your code. Not theory, not keywords first, but actual execution flow that you can visualize. Let's imagine you just wrote a JavaScript file and clicked Run or refreshed the browser. The first important thing to understand is this. JavaScript does not immediately execute your code line by line. Before execution even starts, JavaScript does something very important. It scans the entire file from top to bottom. At this stage, JavaScript is not running your code yet. It is only reading it. Think of this like JavaScript preparing a workspace before starting the actual work. Now, during this first scan, JavaScript creates something called memory. This memory is used to store information about functions and variables. This phase is often called the memory creation phase, but don't worry about names. Focus on what actually happens. When JavaScript sees a function declaration, it stores the entire function in memory, not just the name, but the full function definition. This is why functions behave differently. For example, if you write a function called sayHello and call it before the function is written in the file, JavaScript already knows about it, because during the first scan, the function was fully stored in memory. Now let's talk about variables. When JavaScript sees a variable declared using var, let, or const, it does not store the value yet. It only reserves space for the variable name. For variables declared using var, JavaScript assigns the value undefined during this preparation phase. For let and const, JavaScript still reserves memory, but it does not allow access until execution reaches that line. This is the key difference that causes confusion. So now the first scan is complete. Memory is prepared. JavaScript knows which functions exist and which variables exist, but no code has actually run yet. Now comes the second phase. This is the execution phase. This is where JavaScript starts running your code, line by line, from top to bottom. Let's walk through a simple example together. Imagine the first line of your code is a function call. JavaScript reaches this line during execution. It looks into memory, finds the function already stored there, and executes it successfully. That's why the function works even though it is written later in the file. Next, JavaScript moves to the next line. Now suppose this line tries to access a variable declared with let before its declaration. At this moment, JavaScript knows the variable exists, but it is not ready to be used yet. That is why you get an error. When execution reaches the actual variable declaration line, JavaScript assigns the value to the variable. From that point onward, the variable can be safely used. So the important thing to remember is this. JavaScript reads your entire file first, prepares memory, and only then starts executing code. This two-step process explains many confusing behaviors. It explains why functions behave differently from variables. It explains why undefined appears. It explains why some errors happen even before a line seems to run. Most beginners struggle because they imagine JavaScript as a simple top-to-bottom reader. But JavaScript is smarter than that. It prepares first, then executes. Once you understand this flow, many advanced topics like hoisting, scope, and even async JavaScript become much easier to learn. You are no longer memorizing rules, you are understanding behavior. If JavaScript ever felt unpredictable to you,
This is the missing mental model. Take your time with this concept. Pause the video, re-watch this explanation, visualize the memory phase and the execution phase clearly. This understanding will save you hours of debugging in the future. Thank you so much for watching. If this explanation helped you, please like the video so it reaches more learners like you. Subscribe to the channel for more beginner-friendly JavaScript, and leave a comment if you want a visual infographic or animation for this execution flow. I'll see you in the next video.